it's Betsy from Cuttin Corners Vinyl in Nederland, Texas, and today we have a fun video. It's that time for Chic for Cheap. Now, if you're not familiar with what Chic for Cheap is, my friend Christy from Christy Creates started this as a way to find higher end items and recreate them on a budget. So you can either go in store or you can search online to find your items. And I found this adorable tray from Pottery Barn. Now, as you can see, this thing is almost $80 on clearance and regularly $99. That's a lot. I can recreate this for so much cheaper. So I went over to Hobby Lobby, and from their wood pile section, I found this tray, which looks pretty darn close to it, and this is regularly $7.99. Their wood pile items that are $7.99 or higher are 40% off, so I paid like $5 for it. You're also gonna need your paint. I am using the shade Castle from the Folk Art home decor chalk paint and black. I've owned black, I just bought Castle. You're gonna need your Cricut to create your text and your vinyl. So this is the Oracal, which is a brand, 813. This is stencil vinyl, so this is made to make stencils with. So if you'll give me a moment to change the camera angle, we will go over how to make this. You can see I'm in Cricut Design Space. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to my Shapes tool, and I'm going to grab the square. Okay, so the inside of my tray, we're gonna go ahead and unlock this, is 14 inches wide by 10.5 inches tall. Okay, there we go. So that is the size of our tray. So one thing else I want to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and make some squares because I do need a way to line this up. So these are going to be 1-inch squares. Let's go ahead and change the color of those to white. And I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste. Okay. Now I'm going to choose one square and the other big square, and we're going to align left and align top. Okay, so that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and attach that. Now I'm going to grab the other square and the big square, and we're going to align bottom and align left. Okay, so now this portion that is attached, let's go ahead and detach it, and the big square, we're going to make it a different color. Let's make it light gray, and I'm going to check these both are going to be my registration marks, so I welded those together. Okay, so let's go ahead and change these to black because that's actually what the color is going to be on the gray background. So now I'm going to go to the text feature, and I'm going to type out the last name. I'm going to use my last name for now because, you know, I don't know. I've got plenty of weddings to go to, but you know how it goes. Okay, so that's the Aldine font. Let's go to System Fonts and see if there's a font that I like better. There are so many options. Let's try that. Nope. Okay, never mind. We'll just leave it at Aldine. That is a good font for this. Okay, so we're gonna make Aldine 12 inches wide. Okay, and now I want to go ahead and align center to the, oh, let's undo that. Now I want to select those two pieces and align center. There we go. Okay, so I like how that looks. So now I'm gonna go ahead and change that color to black so it still matches. And to kind of give it something just a little bit extra, I'm going to go back to the text feature and I'm going to type out EST 2002. That's the year Jeremy and I got married. Okay, so that one, let's go where we can see our, okay, so that font does not work because I guess it doesn't have numbers. Okay, so that does, let's see, Cricut. There we go. So we'll choose Aldine. Okay. Now for that one, let's go ahead and change it to bold to make it a tad bit thicker. Yes, I like it like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and make you 12 even. And I'm going to go ahead and unlock this because I do want to make it just a tad bit taller. Let's make it 2.5 inches tall. Okay, don't like it 2.5. Let's try 2.25. Almost there. Let's try 2. Okay, so I like that. So I'm going to select the gouache and the gray, and we're going to go ahead and again align centers. There we go. Make sure you're the right color. Nope. See, it always wants to change. Now, the EST 2002, let's go ahead and make you 1 inch tall. Do I like you together? Okay, yeah, I like that. Let's make you a little bit smaller. Let's make you 0.75. Perfect. Do I want to make you bold? Let's make you bold. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to choose the gouache and the EST, and I'm going to go up here to align, and we're going to align right. Now I'm going to weld my text together, and I'm going to choose the gouache and the gray, and we're going to go ahead one more time and align center. Now I'm going to take the 2 registration squares and my name, and I'm going to weld that together. I'm going to delete the basic gray background. Now I'm going to click on Make It. There we go. Okay, we're cutting this out of the Aura Mask 813 stencil material, so we don't have to mirror it. This is going to be bigger than your standard 12 by 12. And I know that this seems like it wastes material, and it does, but it goes much better this way. So I'm going to choose regular vinyl. Now I'm going to go ahead and go cut this, and I will show you how to put it on. So as you can see, I have my tray laid out. I'm going to squeeze some of my paint, which I've shaken up, onto a paper plate. Now, one thing I will tell you about this is I would definitely take and paint all sides of this tray. It will help to make it look a little bit more expensive. And one thing I will also tell you whenever you're working with something like this, like if you're making this for a wedding present, I wouldn't give just the tray. And you can use whatever paint colors you want to. You can use whatever their house colors or their wedding colors are. But what I would also do is take and either, you know, if they're a young couple and they like wine, you can also take and etch some wine glasses and then put a decent bottle of wine in here, and you've got an amazing gift for a married couple. For, like, you know, whenever you get married, getting those personalized items are always nice. And another thing about it too that I would say is, you know, even if they don't like wine, you know, they're from the South, they like beer. You could do beer glasses, like the beer mugs, and etch them. Or you can take and Well, I mean, you can pretty much etch anything, you know. If you're in the South, you can also do some cups for sweet tea. You know, there's lots of options. So all that I'm going to do, and I'm probably not going to show you painting the whole thing, because as you can see, all that I'm doing is I'm going to coat every surface on this in the gray. So that means this side, inside of the handles, the outside of the handles, and this bottom part. Like, I want the whole thing painted gray, so I got to start with some areas and then I can go back and paint others. But one of the things that I can tell you too, to make it have the best look, is see how I'm going with the grain and I'm keeping my brush strokes long. That is definitely something important whenever working with a project like this. Making sure your strokes are nice and even and they coat all the way down. Now, I know, like, whenever you're first applying the paint, kind of like I am right now, how I'm going in different directions, but always go back. That is one of the most important things to helping make it look expensive, is make sure your strokes all match. So like, I'll take and do them from this way, and then I will take and meet them in the center, making sure all the edges and corners are covered. So as I said, it's trying to make sure your paint also goes as far as you can. So you can kind of see what it looks like. Doesn't that look so good? Okay, now I'm going to take and paint the rest of this off camera. And then once it's dry, I'm gonna come back and show you how to give it a little bit of age dimension. So as you can see, the whole tray is painted the castle gray color. So now I want to add a little bit of distressing. Now I do have some wet paint, just so you know, because to me, whenever you add the wet paint, it does help to distress it a little bit more. So I'm just taking the edge of the same brush that I put the gray on with and dipped it into the black. And now I'm just kind of brushing it out to where it's really blended, but not completely, if that makes sense. So it's got some color variation, but not a whole lot. So it kind of, you see what I'm saying? So how it goes together, and you're still getting it where it has that more distressed look. Because to me, that's what adding this black color does, is adds, you know, a bit more of the distressed look. And one of the things that I think is the most important whenever you are distressing like this is to make sure, again, your strokes match the grain of the wood. That is one of the most important things, at least to me. There is a leftover brush. But you see how some of it, I am giving it just a tad bit more darkness. And we're just continuing to work it in all the way down, because I don't want it to look like white paint with black mixed in. I want it to have like the multiple colors in it. So you see what I'm saying? Some places it's heavier, in some places it's not. And it might look crazy right now, but especially once it's all dry and we have the name and stuff put on here, it really does look super good. So I'm just going back and blending in a little bit more on the edge. A little bit more on this side. And you can kind of see what I mean. Like, I've got this all over, so it doesn't look too perfect. So I'm going to take just a tiniest bit, apply on kind of each of the sides. But again, we're just going to continue to brush that out. Make sure it all looks nice and blended. But doesn't that look good? To me, this definitely gives that farmhouse look that is still so stinking popular right now. So there we go. So I'm just gonna finish doing this on all the edges, and then we'll come back and apply the stencil and the paint. So as you can see, I have my design all cut. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're gonna move the tray out of the way for a second, and we're gonna go ahead and remove the paper backing. So, and one of the things I do recommend when you are removing your paper backing is to roll, not lift, roll. That tends to help you along there. Oop. And press as you need to. There we go. Okay. Now, I'm not going to remove all of it. I really don't need to, at least around where we have the registration marks. Okay, so we can set our tray back down. Okay, now I'm going to take, there we go, and we're gonna put our registration marks, this is why I did it like this, in the corners, okay? And this should give us perfect placement every time. Okay. Get both of them in the corner. It's a little bit hard to do when you remove the paper backing, but it actually works out better when you have removed the paper backing. Okay, so now that I've got that where I want it, I'm gonna start squeegeeing from that side down. Okay. There we go. Okay, now you want to make sure all your letters are down nice and smooth. Okay, now we can remove the transfer tape off the top. And you can save those pieces of transfer tape. There we go. And I do save them, just in case you're wondering. Okay. Now I'm gonna go back with my felt edge squeegee and go over everything just to make sure it's down. So I have my home decor chalk paint in black. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is there probably is enough of this on the lid So I'm gonna take and kind of mash it down on a paper plate over here so I don't have too much paint. So that way we get a good even coat. So, and now I'm just stamping over each of the letters. And then this set of brushes I think came from, it either came from Dollar Tree or Hobby Lobby, but these little round sponge brushes like this are absolutely perfect for when you're stenciling, or at least they are in my book. So just keep stamping. And if you get too much, just kind of go off to the side as far as paint goes. There you go. Just keep stamping. You want to make sure you go towards, but you don't go over your lines. You want to keep it on your letters themselves. So you see how that's kind of cut close to the edge? I want to make sure that I keep it without going over the edge. Because when you go over the edge, you can fix it. It's just kind of a pain in the hiney to fix it. So this is a whole lot easier. You know, and tell me that this wouldn't be super cute to do this. A good bottle of wine, maybe a gift certificate for a good dinner to do takeout with, and then a set of wine glasses monogrammed with like Mr. and Mrs. That would be super cute for a wedding, bridal shower gift, you know, because the thing is, when someone gets married, it's typically not just one gift you gotta buy. You got 20,000 of them you've got to do. Or at least that's how it feels in my opinion. Okay, so now we gotta be careful removing the paint mask. Okay. Now, I'm gonna let this dry a little bit, and then I'm gonna come back and remove the rest of the mask, and then we'll come back and show you the completed project. She is finished. What do you think? I think she is too precious. Hopefully you agree. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button right down below. And if you hit the notification bell icon next to it, that will notify you when I post new videos. So I mean, all in all, this was like 1/10 of the price. So I guess that's it. We'll see y'all later. Bye.